Today, we're looking at the interrelationship, okay? So how surface area and volume can be connected. So the interrelationship between surface area and volume, all right? Over the last 2 weeks, first we looked at surface area and we did all our surface area calculations for a rectangular prism and a cube. Last week we did volume and we did the volume of a cube and a rectangular prism. And today we're going to look at the relationship between the two. So think first. Interesting relationships can be found between the surface area and volume of a rectangular prism and the surface area of a rectangular cube. So guys, there's some interesting relationships. When we were doing it last week, we saw that the surface area and the volume are not necessarily always the same. They could sometimes be the same, but it's very unlikely that that happens. And the reason for that is because they have different formula. And remember, last week we were talking about how do we know which formulae to use? I said to you guys, surface area, you need to think of it like your body. Surface area is like your skin. You're measuring the space on the outside, whereas volume is like your veins. You're measuring the stuff on the inside. Okay, so you're measuring the capacity of a shape, all right, or you're measuring the inside of the shape, all right. So here is rectangular prism A. Okay, so they're talking about this rectangular prism over here. So here is A. All right. Okay, so that's A. Now, what they go and they do for us in this question, okay, if you want to draw that in or if you want to take a screenshot, you don't have to draw it with a ruler, you can just do a quick drawing, okay, is they say they're going to take A. All right. So they're going to take A and they're going to give you two variations of A. So let's think first about that. Okay? So we've got shape A, which is a rectangular prism. All right? They've given us the length, the breadth, and the height. If they've given us the length, the breadth, and the height, it means that we can calculate the surface area and we can calculate the volume. All right? It's a rectangular prism, guys. It's a rectangular prism. So we're thinking first. So let's go make ourselves a few notes while we're thinking. Okay, let's go make ourselves a few notes while we're thinking. The first thing I want to make myself a note about is the surface area for a rectangular prism. I want to go tell myself that in order to calculate the surface area of a rectangular prism, I've got to have 2 open brackets length times breadth plus 2 open brackets length times height plus 2 open brackets breadth times height. So remember when we did these formulas a little while ago, if you knew, don't stress because you'll be able to take a picture of this formula. When we did these formulas the other day, we saw that that's how we get the formula for the surface area of a rectangular prism. All right. If you're not 100% sure, ma'am, how do we remember that? All right. Remember that the area of a rectangle is always length times breadth. So when we do the surface area, there's 6 areas altogether that we need to calculate. So we've got 2, 4, 6, length times breadth, length times height, breadth times height. In order to calculate the volume of a rectangular prism, so in order to calculate the volume of a rectangular prism, I'm going to say length times breadth times height. Okay. All right, so I'm thinking first, I'm putting that down on my page, then I'm going to go carry on and I'm going to look. If I'm looking at A1, guys, while you're writing, I'm going to talk. If I'm looking at A1, it's a variation. So what it means, it's like a variety of A. So they've taken A, okay, and then they've copied it across. It's kind of like if you, and I read, like most of you have watched the movie Frozen. Let's all be real there. Like you get Frozen, the movie, and then you get Frozen 2, hey? It's the next variation of the movie. Or you get Transformers, and then you get Transformers 1, Transformers 2, Transformers 3, Transformers 4, Transformers 5, Transformers 6, Transformers 7. I don't even know how many movies there are like that at the moment. But those are all variations of the same idea. All right. Same movie, same characters, just a different set of circumstances. The same, okay, as we've got here. Kael's asking me, same as cars? Exactly, same as cars. All right. So same as you can have a car and then they bring out a bigger car and a bigger car, but they're all the same car brand. All right. So for A, I've got a length that's equal to 15, a breadth that's equal to 6, and a height that's equal to 12. For A1, I've got a length that's equal to 30. I've got a breadth that's equal to 12. And I've got a height that's equal to 24. And finally, for A2, I've got a length that's equal to 7,5. I've got a breadth that's equal to 3. And I've got a height that's equal to 6. So I'm hoping that by thinking first, okay, I'm hoping that by thinking first, all right, you guys are understanding or seeing some kind of patterns going on here. I'm hoping you're seeing some sort of patterns going on here. Okay. All right, so my first question says to me, for rectangular prism A, right, ignore this word variation for now. We're going to look at those a little bit later on. But for rectangular prism A, I've got a length of 15, just like we said. I've got a width or breadth, same thing. Okay, I'm going to put here B as well. So length, breadth, height of 6. And I have a height of 12. So they went and they calculated the surface area for us. They're very kind, so kind of them. Okay, do we know how to do that, guys? Do we know how to calculate the surface area? All right, let's go practice. Okay, so let's go practice. Oh dear. All right. Let's see here if I can get it to copy across for us. Nah, otherwise we're just going to do this. Okay. So we're going to go practice how we calculate the surface area. I said to you guys that for A, right, I'm going to make it nice and big for you now. For A, length was equal to 15, breadth was equal to 6, height was equal to 12. Always good, guys, always good to write your numbers out first. So tell yourself, what's the length, what's the breadth, what's the height? Then we're going to have surface area equals 2 length times breadth plus 2 length times height plus 2 breadth times height. All right. We're going to put the numbers in, or I'm going to help you out. 2, 15 times 6 plus 2, 15 times 12 plus 2, 6 times 12. All right, I'm going to be looking for somebody to help me out there. Okay, I'm going to be looking for somebody to help me out there at the figures. I've seen that Amishle has had their hand up for quite a while. So, Amishle, do you have a question for me that you want to ask?
Yes, well, ma'am, I also want to help you with this, ma'am. But
Okay.
I have a question first, ma'am.
Okay.
So, like, ma'am, will we be having classes until the end of the year, the term, ma'am?
Yes, we will definitely be having classes until the end of the term. I think that our last class. I'm just trying to see. I know it's in November. Let's go have a look, and I can tell you what the exact date is in November. I will get it for you now. Let's go have a look. I know it's all on the website as well for you guys. but our last Watobe lesson, okay, if it'll let me open it. Oh dear, my screen is frozen. All right, our last Watobe lesson, we're still going to do another topic after this. Okay, and our last Watobe lesson is on the 24th of November. So we're doing lessons all the way up to the 24th of November initially. I hope that answers your question. All right, so I was looking for some help here. Okay, and Michelet, thank you so much. It was nice to chat with you. I will ask you for help with this one a little bit later on. I just want to give somebody else a chance to chat, if that's okay with you. All right, we are going to go for, and I'm hoping, Mr. Hugo, you might be able to help me out here because my computer is being a little bit buggy and it won't let me pick people. Mr. Hugo, can you maybe choose somebody to help me answer this question?
Yes, sure. Are we good with
Thank you.
Itandile? Let's see.
Perfect.
Itandile, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Let's
Awesome.
go.
Thanks, Mr. Hugo. Right, Itandile, let's go. Help me out here. I've got 2. Let's go. 2 times. What's 15 times by 6?
90.
Well done. Plus 2 times. What's 15 times 12?
180.
Nice. Well done. Plus 2 times. What's 6 times 12?
673.
6 times 12.
Yes, ma'am.
6
Oh,
times
no.
12? Oh, no. Definitely not, eh? What's 6 times 12?
72.
Oh, thank you. I thought so. All right, let's keep going. So 2 times 90 is 180. Plus, what's 2 times 180?
It's 360.
Well done. Plus, what's 2 times 72?
It's 144.
Well done. Add them together for me.
Yes, ma'am. It's 684.
There we go. 684 centimeters squared.
Squared.
Okay, happy with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so if we go back here, do we all agree with the surface area that they got of 684? Are we good? We good with how they got that? Awesome. All right, so let's go calculate the volume now. So to get volume for this shape, we've got to say volume equals length times breadth
Times width times height.
height. Oh, Amishle is still with me. I mean, no, who's with me? Itandile. Itandile is still with me. Hi, Itandile. Okay, so we've got 15 times 12 times 6. Itandile, you still with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do the calculation for me on your calculator, please.
It's 1080.
1080, and it's going to be centimeters. What?
Squared.
For volume. Careful. How many things am I timesing together for volume?
Oh, it's gonna be cubed, ma'am.
Well done. Centimeters cubed. So let's go back here. All right. When we go back here, we see that volume is 1080. Hey, so we're quite happy. We got the right answer. We are all good. We got the same answer as they did. Okay, so we can move on from there. Okay. Now the question says to us, all right, so now the question said to us, you've gone and you've done rectangular prism A. Now it says, what about rectangular prism B? Okay, what about rectangular prism B? So for rectangular prism B, let's see what happened with rectangular prism B. All right, the length was 15, but it became 30. The width was 6, but it became 12. And the height was 12, but it became 24. What am I doing to the numbers on the sides? What am I doing to get the new numbers? What am I doing? What am I doing? All right, Mr. Hugo, can you pick somebody again for me?
Okay, we have Zewande.
Thank you, Mr. Hugo. Zawande, hi. How are you, Zawande? Good. So Zawande, what do you do to 15 to get to 30? And then what do you do to 6 to get to 12? And then 12 to get to 24. What am I doing to the numbers each time?
Five.
I'm timesing. Good. Well done. Well done. Thank you. I'm timesing them by 2. Well done. Thank you so much. Awesome. Okay. So I'm timesing them by 2 each time to get the right numbers. Now, all right, I want you guys to go do some practice. So let's go do some practice of this. So I've got for A1 now, the length was equal to 30. The breadth or the width was equal to 24. And the height was equal to 12. First thing you're going to go do for me is you're going to go calculate the surface area. 2 length times breadth plus 2 length times height plus 2 breadth times height. Okay. Go calculate that for me, guys. Go calculate that for me, please. All right. Somebody's saying to me, ma'am, was the breadth 12, not 24? Let's go back and check. So for the triangular prism B, we have 30, we have 12 and 24. So I just put them in a different order. So 30, 12, 24, same thing. 30, 12, and 24. Okay, you'll still get the same answer, I promise. All right, guys, go calculate that. Let's drop all your hands. All right, so you're going to go do the surface area first for me. And then you're also going to go calculate the volume. All right, so while you're busy calculating, I'm going to put the numbers in for you. So I've got 2, 30 times 24 plus 2, 30 times 12 plus 2, 24 times 12. And here, I've got 30 times 24 times 12. All right. Let's see here. Oh, now I can move my mouse, Mr. Hugo. No, and it's frozen again.
Okay, so we have Jamie 14. Can I let her go?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Hugo. Let's go, Jamie. Let's do this calculation together. Hi, Jamie. Jamie, can you hear us? Jamie, you there? I can
Jamie?
hear you.
Jamie, we
Jamie?
can hear you. Can you hear us?
All right, I think maybe Mr. Hugo, you might have to pick somebody else.
Okay, Brianna.
All right, Brianna. Hi, Brianna. Long
Hi,
time no
ma'am.
hear from.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's go, Brianna. So 2, open brackets. What's 30 times 24?
720.
Well done. Plus 2. What's 30 times by 12?
Ma'am,
30 times 12.
360.
Well done. And what's 24 times 12?
It is 288.
288. Well done. All right. So now we're going to have 2 times 720 is
1440.
Well done. 2 times 360.
720.
Well done. 2 times 288.
Is 576.
576. Well done, Brianna. Right. Add them all together for me. Add them all together. While you're adding them together, I'm just going to do a shout out, guys. If you can't see the screen, click on my face. So I know that somebody in the class before has said, if you can't see the screen, sometimes if you click on my face, that sometimes then shows you the screen, if that helps. Okay,
Okay.
otherwise Mr. Hugo will help you out. Right, what do you get, Brianna?
2,736.
And 36. Well done. Right, can we do the volume together while you're here with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so 30 times 24 times 12. What do we get?
Mine is 30 times 24 times 12 is
A big number.
ma'am is 8,640
Well done. Centimeters cubed.
cubed.
Cubed. Okay, well done, Brianna. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Right, so let's go back here. What did we see before? When we were looking at the length and the breadth and the height, guys, what did we need to do? We needed to times them by 2, okay? So we needed to times them by 2. But now, what are we doing? Okay, now we did the surface area. Look at the surface area. If you've got your calculator on you or you're doing it in your head, if we take 684, which was the surface area, and we times that by 2, what's going to happen? It's not going to give us 1,368, is it? It's not going to give us 1,368. Am I right? All right. What will it give us? Well, let's go see. If I take 2,736, which is my new surface area, and I divide it by my old surface area, 684, that gives me times by 4. All right, so what I did, I took my old surface area, divided by my new surface area, and I got 4. Somebody do the volume for me. Go do the volume. 8,640 divided by my old surface area, which was 1080. Okay, how many times did I need to multiply my volume to get my new volume? How many times? Well done, Adam. Well done. I needed to multiply it by 8. All right, so we saw when we times all the numbers by 2, okay, all the different measurements, when we saw the surface area, we needed to times that by 4 to get the new surface area. And we looked at the volume, we needed to times that by 8. All right, so now what we're going to do, okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to look at A2. So they've done some of the work for us. So we're going to trust them. We're going to trust them. So because so far so good. So in the new shape, the length was 7.5, the width or the breadth was 3, and the height was 6. Guys, if I compare that, okay, if I compare that to this first shape, so I'm going to block this out for you so you can see what I mean. So I'm going to just block this. Oh dear. All right, try to see if I can draw a block. Oh, it's not going to let me do that. Let's try to see if we can do it again. Okay, so I want to look at drawing a block over these, and I want you to compare A, the figures in A, with the figures in A2. So I want you to compare the figures in A, all right, with the figures in A2. Go have a look at that for me. So the figures in A with the figures in A2. Go have a look. Go have a look. Let me block that one out for you for now. Okay, so the figures in A with the figures in A2. So I'm blocking out A1. Okay, who can tell me what's happening with the figures? And now my mouse is working again. So Caitlin, let's go. Hi, Caitlin.
Isn't it divided by 4?
Okay, I agree with you. We're going to divide. I agree with you. We're going to divide. Absolutely. So if I do on my calculator, let's go try it, Caitlin. So if I say 15 divided by 4, because we're looking at the original, hey? So 15 divided by 4,
Yeah.
that gives me 3,75. Should we try something smaller? What about 15 divided by 2, Caitlin?
Yeah,
Okay,
that works
cool.
out.
Awesome. So are you happy that we're dividing by 2
Yeah.
each time? Awesome. Thanks, Caitlin.
Yeah.
All right, so Caitlin is absolutely right. To get from the previous figures in A1 to the new figures, what am I doing? I'm dividing by 2. All right, so 15 divided by 2 gives me 7.5. 6 divided by 2 gives me 3. 12 divided by 2 gives me 6. They went and they did the calculations for volume for us, guys. So we're not going to go do it again. All right, we're not going to go do it again. But what we are going to do is we're going to see what happens when we take the new surface area. So the new surface area is 171. And we divide it by the old surface area, 684. So what's 171? And I'll write it in here so you can see what we're doing. So to work out what's happening, we're saying 171 divided by 684. Okay, what do you get when you do that, guys? What do you get? Let's go. Put everyone's hands down first. All right, who can tell me what you get? Okay, Kunga. Oh, no, I clicked on Itandile. I'm sorry, Itandile. Okay, Itandile, talk to me. What do you get?
Ma'am,
171 divided by 684.
I got 4, ma'am.
You got 4. Are you sure? Go do it again. Make sure you're doing it the same as what's on my screen, okay? All right, I'm going to go to Katleho. Hi, Katleho. All right. How are you?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good, thanks. Right, Katleho. What's 171 divided by 684?
It is 0.25.
Well done, Katleho. Thank you so much. So Katleho is absolutely right. It gives me 0.25. And if I make that into a fraction, it gives me 1 over 4. Hey? Okay. It gives me 1 over 4. So in other words, all right, just like Itandile did for us, just like she did, she said to us, ma'am, what do you need to divide 684 by to get 171 is another way to look at it. You need to divide it by 4 to get it smaller. So same thing. Okay, either you're going to times it by the fraction or you're going to divide it by 4. Same thing. All right, now, last one. Last one. Who's going to tell me what do you need to divide 1,080 by? And this answer is incorrect that they've got here. So I'm just going to fix it for you guys. I was trusting them. I thought they had all the right answers, but let me fix it for you quickly. So 7,5 times 3 times 6. This should be 135. What do you need to divide 1,080 by to get 135? What do you need to divide it by? What do you need to divide 1,080 by to get 135? What must I divide by? Who's going to tell me? What must I divide 1,080 by to get to 135? Tando. Hi, Tando.
Hi, ma'am.
Okay, Tando, what must I divide by?
Ma'am, I think 8.
Well done. I must divide by 8. Well done. Thank you. All right. So I hope that we're starting to see some patterns, guys. So we filled this table in. When it was bigger, we saw we were timesing. When it was smaller, we were dividing. we're going to come back and we're going to realize some things a little bit later on. What I want you guys to go do now, here is the rectangular cube B, and there's the variations B1 and B2. All right. So for B, what we're going to say here is we're going to put some crosses in because we don't need that, we don't need that, and we don't need that. All right. I want you guys to go and have a look. You're going to tell me, what did I do to the lengths? And then you're going to tell me, so to the length, what did I do to the surface area? And you're going to tell me, what did I do to the volume? So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to have a look at that. 2 minutes to have a look at that, and then I'm going to ask somebody to help me with B1. Okay, 2 minutes to have a look at it. And then we're going to do B1. Go have a look. Go draw out the numbers. Go see what did you do to get to B1's numbers. Then what did you do to the original numbers to get to B2's numbers? What's happening to the surface area and what's happening to the volume? Okay, you got 1 minute left. All right, we got 1 minute left. Okay, guys, even if you haven't got all the answers yet, let's do it together. I'm going to start with Katlego. Oh, dear Mr. Hugo, it's bugging out again. Oh, wait, there we go. Okay, Katlego. Hi, Katlego.
Hello, ma'am.
Right, Katlego, what did I do for B1? What did I do to the length in B1?
We divided the length by 4.
Well done. So 12 divided by 4 gives me 3. Well done, Katlego. Then let's look at the surface area. So what did I do to the surface area? So it was 864. Now it's 54. So what did I do to the surface area?
Divided it by 16.
Well done. And finally, let's look at the volume. The volume before was 1,728. Now it's 27. What did I divide it by?
By 64.
Well done.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks, Katlego.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to, Mishle. Hi, Mishle. Mishle. Hi. Mishle, can you hear us? You are unmuted. All right, I think maybe Mishle might have something wrong with her microphone. Let's go to Itandile again. Hi, Itandile.
Hello, ma'am.
All right, Itandile, what did I do in B2? How did I go from 12 to 56? What did I do?
12 to
56.
56. Ma'am, you time you divided
times
by
it.
4.
I times it by 3, hey? So 12 times by 3 gives me 36. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. How did I go from a surface area of 864 to my new surface area, which is 7,776? What did I do?
Ma'am, I got confused there. I thought I
That's
said
okay.
I timed it.
Yeah.
Ma'am, what I did, I timed it by 7.
Sounds about 7. Okay, that's a bit weird. So
Yeah.
we're going to take on our calculator. Let's do it together. 7,776, and we're going to divide it by 864. Hey?
Yes, ma'am.
And what does that give you?
Ma'am, it gives me an odd number, but then let me check again.
I think check again.
Ma'am, it gives me
I
it
get
get it
9.
when I think so, ma'am, because here it
Okay.
gives me 8.4.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, no, should be giving you 9. All right, and
Yes.
finally, let's do the volume together. You ready? On your calculator, have you got a calculator with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so on your calculator, we're punching in 46656, and we're dividing that by 1728.
8. 27, ma'am.
27. Thank you so much. Thank
Pleasure,
you,
ma'am.
Tandile. All right, so Tandile and I have done the calculations together for you guys. Let's look at what we're going to do next. So here, let's go back to our original 3 rectangular prisms. Let's go back here and let's look at it. All right. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. We're going to look at our drawing. Okay, so when we looked at our original rectangular prisms, okay, let's see if you recognize anything here. All right. When I'm looking at the surface area and I give my final answer of surface area, what do I always have the units in, guys? I always say that the units are squared, hey? All right. So let's see if you recognize this. If I was multiplying all the sides by 2, okay, what would happen to the surface area? Well, what happens with surface area? Surface area is always squared. So what's 2 squared? What does 2 squared give you, guys? 2 squared gives you? You can tell me in the chat. 2 squared will give you 4. Okay, good. 2 squared gives you 4. Now, let's look at the next one. When we were dividing by 2, so we're making everything smaller by 2 each time, what did we notice about the surface area? What always happens with surface area, guys? Surface area is always squared, hey? So, what's 2 squared? 2 squared is 4 again. Okay. Let's look at the next table and let's see if we recognize the same thing. Maybe the same thing happened. Right. So, when I'm looking at cube B, I divided all the items by 4. So I was dividing by 4. Remember, for surface area, it's always squared, hey? So for surface area, it's always squared. What does 4 squared give you, guys? What's 4 squared? What does 4 squared mean? 4 squared means 4 times 4. 4 squared, well done. Tando is the first one to tell me in the chat there. 4 squared is equal to 16. Come on, maths is beautiful. You've got to admit that that's beautiful maths. Hey, come on. All right. Let's see if it works with the next one. When I was multiplying by 3, right, what happened to my surface area? What happened to my surface area? Well, what do we need to do? We need to square it, hey? 3 squared is 3 times 3, and 3 times 3 gives you 9. Okay. Let's have a look at the volume, guys. Let's have a look at the volume now. So when I'm calculating volume, what happens to the units in volume? They're always cubed. Okay. So when we multiplied everything by 2, so when we said the length times 2 and the breadth times 2 and the height times 2, what's 2 to the power of 3? Or 2 times 2 times 2, what does it give you when you do 2 cubed, 2 to the power of 3? Okay, 2 to the power of 3. 2 times 2 times 2, it gives you 8. Well done. And the same thing, what happens when we've got 2 to the power of 3? It'll give you 8. Let's see if it works in our other one. Let's see if it works in our other block. So for the cube, first we divide it by 4. And remember, volume is always cubed. So 4 times 4 times 4. What's 4 cubed? 4 times 4 times 4 gives me 64. Let's do the 3's. Then we multiplied everything by 3. 3 cubed, or 3 times 3 times 3, what does that give you? It gives you 27. So we need to be careful, guys. We need to be careful. When we're doing surface area and volume, if you're going to multiply the sides by a certain factor, it doesn't mean that your surface area is also going to be multiplied by the same thing. What's going to happen? The factor that you multiply by, so if you double it, you times it by 2, what will happen to the surface area? The surface area will say 2 squared, and the surface area will be multiplied by 4. If we double all the sides, if we times all the sides by 2, okay, to get the volume, we're going to say 2 to the power of 3, so we're going to times everything by 8. All right, so here is our little table here. Okay, so there it tells you, right? How did we get the length of the sides? We times them by 2. To get the surface area, we had to say 2 squared. And to get the volume, we had to say 2 cubed. Okay, how did we get the A2? We divided by 2, or we can say 2 squared, which is divided by 4, or 2 to the power of 3, which is 8. My last table to fill in there for you. For these shapes, okay, how do we get the length of the sides? We've got 4. 4 squared gives me 16, and 4 to the power of 3 gives me 64. And finally, 3. 3 squared is 9, okay, and 3 to the power of 3 is 27. Okay, so how can we use this now? How can we use what we've just learned? The first question says to you, calculate the surface area and volume of a rectangular prism that measures 2 meters wide, 4 meters long, and 3 meters high. So let's go do that. So we've got, oh dear. Okay, we're going to have, let's take a normal pen. Length, we're going to have breadth, and we're going to have height. All right, and they told me all the measurements, but ma'am's got such a bad memory. So 4 meters long, 2 meters wide, 3 meters high. 4 meters, 3 meters, 2 meters. Okay. All right. Now, what do we want to do? What do we want to do next? We want to look at what is the surface area. Surface area, 2, length times breadth, plus 2, breadth times height, plus 2, height times length. Okay? All right. I'm going to do that with you guys quickly. So I've got 2, 4 times 3, plus 2, 3 times 2, plus 2, 2 times 4. All right, I'm going to do it with for you guys because we're running so short on time. My time goes so quickly in these lessons. 4 times 3 gives me 12, plus 2. 3 times 2 gives me 6, plus 2. 2 times 4 gives me 8. So I have 24 plus 12 plus 16. I hope you guys are doing this with me all together, that you're doing the calculations. Okay, I hope you're doing all the calculations. All right. When we add that up, I get 52 centimeters squared. Somebody check me. Somebody check. Do you get the same thing? Somebody check. All right, do you get the same answer when you do those calculations? Make sure that ma'am is right. Ma'am's doing them in her head, so she didn't put her calculator there. Yay, thank goodness. Somebody's saying to me, ma'am, it's in meters. Thank you for that. So there we go. All right, so my length times my breadth times my height, 4 times 3 times 2, and that gives me 24 meters squared. All right, so I calculated my surface area, I calculated my volume. Let's see what they want next. Let's see what they want next. Right. They say 3.1.2. Calculate the surface area of the above prism, so the one we just did, with the enlargement factors. So that's the same word as variations. So if they take the shape now and they enlarge them by 2, first of all, next by 0.1, and the final one, they have 33. Guys, I'm taking 33 out. I'm doing by 3. Okay, so somebody has been so helpful to me here. I was just testing to make sure you watching me. I was just testing. Volume should be cubed. Okay, guys, let's start with the first one. Let's start with the first one. I will make my screen bigger, I promise. I just want to be able to get the question. So for 3.1.2.1, they want us to times by 2. Okay, for 3.1.2.2, they want us to times by 0.1, or we could say divided by 10. Either way, it's the same thing. And for 3.1.2.3, or it was, they want us to times it by 3. Now, we could go and we could do all those calculations all over again. So we could take the length and the breadth and the height, we could times everything by 2, and then we could go do the surface area, and we could do it that way, and then we could go do the volume, and then we could do it that way. But, all right, there is always an easier way to do it, and we just learned the easier way to do it. So let's go see. For this one, okay, for the first one, I've got surface area is equal to, we calculated that the surface area was 52 meters squared, all right? If the enlargement was by 2, so if the enlargement was 2, what must I say? I must say times by 2 to the power of 2. Why to the power of 2? Because surface area is always squared. Okay, so I'm going to say 52 times 4, and that's going to give me 208 meters squared. For the volume, I got 24 meters cubed times by, they wanted me to enlarge it by 2, but we know when we are enlarging the sides by 2, what must also happen, guys? What's volume always in? Volume is always in cubes. So 24 times 8. All right. Who's going to do 24 times 8 for me and check me, make sure I'm doing the right thing? I get 576 meters cubed. All right, now, grade 7s. We're going to leave it there for tonight. Okay, we're going to leave it there for tonight. We're going to let it sink in a little bit. Okay, we're going to leave it there for tonight. We're going to let it sink in for a bit. We have another lesson on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we're going to finish these off. So on Wednesday, we're going to finish these off. What I'm going to do for you is, if you want to have a look at them before we get to the lesson, all right, there is the whole page for you. Okay, so there's the whole page for you. All right. So if you want to go and you want to practice those for Wednesday's lesson, you guys go and try and do 3.1.2.2 for me and 3.1.2.3. Okay, take a screenshot. You can go and practice those for me. Okay. All right, somebody's saying to me, I got the wrong answer. Let's see, you are completely right. See, I was just checking if you guys were awake. Just checking. That's what happens when ma'am tries to rush, hey? We get 192 meters cubed. So on Wednesday, we will finish these off. I want you guys to go practice them. I want you to practice them. I want you to try them out by yourself. Before you go anywhere from this class, though, before anybody leaves, all right, I see lots of people leaving. You need to answer the poll. So go and answer tonight's poll question, please. Not enough people have answered the question, and lots of people have already left. Please, guys, go make sure you answer the poll question. All right. Sorry, guys, your calculator was right. Some of you were saying you thought your calculator was mad. No, it's just ma'am that's mad. Ma'am's trying to do them in her head. So it's just me that's mad. You are right. All right, we're answering the poll question. Okay, and we are going to see each other again on Wednesday. I see Itandile has a question. Hi, Itandile.
Ma'am, can you please go back in the page that you were
Of
doing?
course I can.
Thank you.
Sure, where do you want me to go to? Here.
Can you please enlarge it, smaller, everything? Thank you.
No problem. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller than you've got it like that. Hey, there we go.
Thank
Whew.
you, ma'am.
You're welcome.